All right. Can you see my worksheet here? If you can see my screen, let me know. Okay, let's do this now together. Chloe, can you turn on your camera? Chloe, you only did your paper at 7:17, you know. How am I going to look at your answers? Okay, we have one student, Rumi, just came in. Now, if you look at this particular worksheet, it's not difficult, but there was an, I wouldn't say error. Okay, I don't know whether it was intentional, but I didn't agree with the question from that school exam paper. Okay, I'm not going to tell you which school. Okay, but I was looking at the questions because I told you it was uploaded on Friday, right? Okay, so I was taking a look over the weekend and then I didn't agree with the question. Okay, but very quickly, you know that there are like 5 levels maximum, okay, in the trophic levels. So start off from the producers, okay, and then you must have only the first level as the producer, right? Then you move on to the consumers where you have primary consumer, then secondary consumer, tertiary, and then you have the apex. They cannot go beyond that because not enough energy to sustain any of the other animals. All right. So next, okay, if you look in terms of energy, start off with 100% right at the bottom. As you move up to the next level, can you see that there's a loss of like 90%? This is something you must know. Okay, if they give you a certain value and expect you to do calculation, you need to know how to calculate. All right. So let's say we start off with 900 kilojoules. Then what do you have for the next level? That will be just 10% of it, right? 90% is lost. So 10% of it moves up to the next level. That means you only have 90, etc. Okay, so let's say we start with like 900, then it will be 90, and then 9, 0.9, and this is going to be 0.09, very little, no longer can sustain the next level. Okay, but some diagrams that you see may even suggest 6 levels. It is not possible. Okay, maximum 5. Gerald is here. Gerald, you have not done your work. Can you turn on the camera? Okay, so let's go on to the MCQ. If we can finish fast, I have one more question for you to try. One more as in the structured question. Okay, so if you look at this one, okay, you have the diagrams here. So you have X as well as Y in the situation X. Can you see that there's a leech that is attached to the cow to feed on its blood? Then in Y, it is actually carried out by doctors, and this is a real thing. This is happening. Okay, doctors actually use leeches, right? Okay, to attach to somebody's body parts. It can be leg, it can be arm, okay, to prevent accumulation of blood. What do you think leeches will do? It will suck up the blood, right? So originally, or shall I say, it's always start off with a very tiny size leech. Okay, it can be just like 1 cm long only. Okay, once it's attached to somebody's body parts, like I was bitten by the leech once. I'm not really bitten, like it just got hooked onto my leg when I was playing with my siblings in a river in Malaysia. We didn't know that there are leeches there. So we saw these things stuck. It's a bit jelly-like. It's stuck onto our leg. Okay, so for example, my feet inside, right? It was stuck somewhere here. So I tried to brush it off. It doesn't come off. I rub it off also. It will not come off. So I let it be because I wanted to play. But it was a little bit itchy. I felt the itch there. Okay, not so bad. But then after 5 minutes, I look at this thing again. It grew bigger and fatter. Okay, so when I really started worrying and pulling it off, right, there was actually blood flowing out. Okay, flowing out of my leg as well as I think the bite, the mouth part, you know. of that leech. Okay, that's when I realized that, it's a blood sucking thing. Okay, but I didn't know the term. At that young age, I didn't know the term. My mom is not English educated, so she couldn't tell me as well. Okay, so this is what happens. In this particular case, the leech will actually suck up the blood at a very fast rate. All right. So if you can do this question, most of you can do this, you will understand that this is actually a benefit in this scenario. Is a benefit for both the leech as well as the patient. Whereas for the cow and the leech case, right, the cow doesn't benefit. The cow is losing blood to the leech. Okay, so one organism benefits, the other one is harmed. Any question here? Quite easy, right? Okay. Question 2. Table lists information about trophic levels. You have P, Q, R, and S of a food chain. Okay, always go by this. I saw some of you make mistakes here. Okay, always look at the energy level. Okay, from the energy level, you will not go wrong. So at the bottom, you will have the highest amount. Correct or not? Okay, you have the highest amount. All right. So remember the loss in the percentage. All right. So at the bottom, you should have the highest level of energy. So if you can see, it should be R. Okay, so this is wrong and this is wrong. All right, and then the next one will be P. So you have R, P, and then check whether it's S and then Q. Okay, it's correct. All right. Any question here so far? Gerald, you have not done this, right, Gerald? Have you already opened up the worksheet already, Gerald? The chat didn't come through. Okay. Okay. I just managed to see your message. Okay, good. Next one. Okay, so you see a web here. How do you identify producer? I think this is like a P6 question. Okay, how do you identify producer? Okay, to identify producer, you must know it doesn't eat anything. It can only enter the stomach of something else. Okay, it doesn't eat anything at all. So the only one you can see is actually these Gyaritos. Okay, so this is the one. Because nothing goes into its stomach. You don't see any arrow pointing to it. Okay, so this is the producer. Question 4. Lily observed a frog eating a grasshopper. Okay, the grasshopper is feeding on grass. So grass goes into the stomach of the grasshopper. And then grasshopper goes into the stomach of the frog. Okay, so what will happen, all right, if you remove all the grasshoppers in this food chain? Okay, quite obvious, right? If you remove this, what's going to happen to the number of frogs? The frogs depends on the grasshopper for food. Okay, so frog population will decrease, right? So what happened to the grass? The grass will then increase in terms of population. Any question here? No. This is also one common question that a few of you got wrong. Some of you chose A. Can I understand why you choose A? Let me see who did. Okay. Haresh, do you do this?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you got it right. Good. Did you know, or you were just, trying your luck answering the question?
I know.
You know, good. Let me find somebody who doesn't know. Harini, come. Share with me why you chose A. I want to know what you're thinking.
No, because at first the squirrel eats the coyote, right? So the population size is lower for the and the population size for the squirrel is higher.
Again, what do you say?
No, because at first the squirrel eats the coyote, and then so the coyote's population size is lower at first before the fatal disease.
You think that the squirrel actually eat the other organism. Is that right? Who goes into the stomach of who? Haresh, tell me. Who actually
The coyote eats the
prey
squirrel.
again?
The coyote eats the squirrel.
Yeah, the coyote eat the squirrel.
Yeah.
Because you read here, okay, be very careful. Squirrels make up a large portion of the diet of coyote. So coyote eats the squirrel. It's part of the diet. I was shocked.
I read it.
Can you
other
see?
way around.
Yeah, okay. But you understand now? So if you were to draw, not really draw, but write out the food chain, squirrel goes into the stomach of the coyote. Okay, then due to a fatal disease, the squirrel population begin to decrease over a period of months. So which graph best represents the expected changes? So this is like telling you over a period of 1 month, right? Okay, which graph here shows you what is changing? The question asks that. There are students who think that, oh, is it after that 1 month that I'm supposed to predict what will happen to the populations of each of them? No, it's during. Okay, so in the whole process of that 1 month, this time here is telling you the whole month. Okay, the whole month there. So what is the answer? Okay, answer is actually C. You all know already. Okay, it says that the squirrel population begins to decrease over a period of months. So it's going down gradually. Okay, going down gradually. I know this seems like quite a straight line. Okay, it might not be so straight in terms of the graph. It can be a little bit curly or curved. Okay, but it's definitely going downwards. Clear? Okay, but how can these particular animal increase in terms of numbers? That's the part that I was a bit concerned about, right? And then let's see, Zeni, you chose B, right? You understand what went wrong now? Because it says squirrels make up a large portion of the diet. Okay, so like I mentioned, when we are consuming something, we don't just eat a little bit of it, right? Okay, sometimes like the coyote is definitely bigger than the squirrel. Squirrels are very small. Just eating one squirrel is not enough, right? Not to sustain, to have the energy. So it will need more squirrels. Okay, so population of the squirrel in terms of numbers will definitely be higher. Anyone cannot understand this part? Kieran, you understand this part? Okay, good. Question 6. Question 6, if you have chosen A, increase slowly from 1900 to 2000, you are not wrong, you know. This is not a wrong answer, but this is not the best answer. Okay, many of you, can I just make a guess? You read the first option and then you choose your answer already. You didn't even read the next one or the one below it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Haresh, you got it correct again. Harini, you read the first one and you chose the first one, right? It sounds so right, isn't it? Did you read all? You did?
No, it's not that drastic. It's not so drastic. It's so
So you-
confusing.